You do get desensitized to everything, by the way. You get desensitized to the good things. You get desensitized to the bad things. So, for example, if you really enjoy a dish and you're going to eat this dish for like 20 times in a row, eventually you're not going to enjoy it that much anymore. Then, for example, if something bad happens to you, for example, let's say that you go to prison, the first day in prison is going to be the most traumatizing, the most awful experience you can ever have. Then, after 7 years of being there, it's still going to suck. I don't think it's ever going to be a pleasant experience, but you are not going to be as stressed as you were at the beginning. So you do get used to everything. That is actually something that I did not realize at the beginning when I started doing content, and I thought that it's always going to be as stressful as it was at the beginning. So, for example, the first YouTube video that I made, I probably had to refilm that bitch like 20, 25 times in a row, and I almost kind of got to the point where I was starting to go insane. And now, for the most part, I maybe need to refilm it like once or twice because, as you probably already figured, English isn't really my first language. So sometimes it is a little bit difficult to express myself, and when I fuck up significantly, then I just kind of decide that I want to refilm it. But if you film videos in your native language, I feel like eventually it's not going to be an issue at all. Because in reality, like it's not that difficult. You're just kind of having a conversation with yourself in front of a camera. And also another thing, when I started filming videos, for example, on TikTok, I was really ashamed when they flopped, and I was really afraid of them flopping. And then eventually I discovered that the first videos that you're going to post on a new account are going to flop 100%. Like it is a 100% possibility that your first videos are going to flop. And that kind of made me a little bit less stressed. I'm like, well, okay, at the beginning until I figure out what is it that people like, what is it that I want to post in the first place, it doesn't really matter if they flop or they don't. Maybe you actually even want your first videos to flop because your first videos are also going to be dog shit. So maybe you want a little bit of time and a little bit of practice until you get to the point where they're good. Because also realistically, you can't practice making content without posting it. Like you do have to post it. You're not going to just be sitting there making videos day in and day out and never posting them. That's just nonsense. Nobody really does it. At least no sane person would do that, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, you do need to practice. And eventually, you are going to get desensitized to your videos flopping. Eventually, you are going to get desensitized to being embarrassed. And it's just going to be okay. You're just going to be doing the thing that you like to do. And maybe eventually you'll see some success with it. Or maybe you won't. Who knows? But at the end of it, like it's not going to be this stressful experience it is from the get-go, and eventually you are going to get to a place where whatever it is that you do, you don't really stress about it all that much no more. It becomes routine. It just becomes something that you do. So yeah, that is something that I discovered quite recently because like yesterday I was filming a video and I realized that I'm not really stressing about filming this video anymore. And it used to be like the most stressful thing ever. Nowadays it's just like, well, okay, it's that time of the day. I now need to do this. So yeah, I mean, it is a cool thing and also maybe a little bit not that cool of a thing at the same time because I feel like you can also become a little bit lazy as you get used to stuff because at the beginning you are going to be like hyper attentive and you are going to pay attention to everything. Now, if something goes a little bit wrong, if it's not like really bad, do I really care? Do I really want to go through the effort of refilming it? So I think it is a balance. You are going to get to the point where you are no longer stressed, which is obviously going to be a good thing, but you shouldn't really become lazy because once you become lazy, then that's kind of just going to do the opposite of what is it that you're trying to achieve. Because if you're finally happy that you're no longer stressed and you feel more free in front of a camera and you can make content better, but then you also become lazy, it just becomes shitty content and you're still not going to do well. So in my opinion, you really have to think about what is it that you're doing, where is it that you are at the moment, and always try to change things up, try to like go towards the direction of improvement rather than just like being stagnant, because also you can't really do the same thing over and over again and hope that it's going to work without really changing anything. So even if it's a small tweak from a video to a video, you do have to try different things and you do need to try to like do as good of a job as you possibly can. And this is also something that is going to be true regardless of what is it that you do. So for an example, like if your hobby is, let's say, lifting weights, you are no longer going to be as stressed about your form. You are going to become a little bit more free at the gym and you are going to try different things. as time goes by, but you should still actively think about what is it that you're doing. You should still actively put effort into doing as good of a job as you possibly can. And then you also should put in an active effort in trying to lift as much weight as you possibly can. So it's like this with everything. You are going to be, once again, desensitized to everything, but eventually also you are going to get used to it, and that is going to become a very weird thing where you're going to have to basically try to do as good of a job as you possibly can. And you're going to have to constantly ask yourself the question, am I doing everything that I possibly can? So yeah, it is a great thing when you are no longer stressed about the thing that you do, but don't become lazy and do pay attention to what is it that you do. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.